Hi guys, Suckfuck here and welcome to the FIFA 19 player review, and today I'm going to be reviewing the 90 rated Brazilian icon central attack of midfielder Rivaldo. He has got an exceptional looking card and he did cost me just over 1.1 million coins, and in the 4 games that I played him with he scored me 3 goals and got me 2 assists, and he does have a 2-star weak foot as well as 4-star skill moves. Then moving along into his in-game stats, his main standout stats are going to be his 88 finishing, his 93 shot power, his 92 ball control, and finally his 89 agility. And I did have the Hunter chemistry stat applied to Rivaldo. I simply just bought the card with this applied to him, so I thought I'd kind of keep that chem stat and take advantage of his nicely increased pace and shooting stats. And I have to say, for the most part, this card looks absolutely fantastic, and in my opinion is quite a fair price for the card that you're getting. Really good pace, fantastic shooting and dribbling, decent passing as well, and to be honest, even his physical isn't that bad either. However, off just looking at the card, there are 2 big issues to him, that being his work rate and his weak foot, and we'll get onto those a little bit later on in the video. But starting off with the pros to him, his first one is actually going to be his pace. Now, with the Hunter chem style, obviously his pace is increased really nicely. His acceleration goes up to 92, his sprint speed goes up to 93, and I have to say he felt very quick. Now, having a cam that's quick isn't always a necessity, but it's always nice at the same time, and he honestly felt super quick. His stamina as well at 83 is fine, so you're not going to get too tired with this guy as the game goes on. Obviously, his pace would be really ideally suited to a striker position, but even as a cam, it's always a nice added bonus that his pace was really quick. But again, as I mentioned before, it's never a necessity, but still, it was a nice part to his card. Being able to break away from defenders and stuff like that was always very nice to be able to do that with Rivaldo. His second pro is going to be his dribbling. Fantastic dribbling stats, 91 dribbling, 92 ball control, 89 agility. You'll see in some of the clips how good his dribbling was, how he was able to beat defenders with practically almost ease. Yes, his balance at 76 isn't that great, but let me just check his heights. He is at the height of 6'1", which is actually, to be honest, quite a fairly tall cam, for that kind of position, but I didn't see it to be that much of an issue with balance, and it's purely because his agility is that high that it just cancels out the not so good balance to a point that you don't notice his balance being an issue. It's completely fine. Also, his reactions, his composure is very nice as well. His dribbling in general is just really good, and again, another part that I loved to Rivaldo. And then his final pro is going to be his passing. He did obviously get me 2 assists in the 4 games. Very nice passing stats, 83 long passing, 88 short passing, 87 crossing, 87 vision. Just once again, very well rounded in the passing category, to a point where you could use him as a centre midfielder to maybe take advantage of his good long passing, but I would play him as a cam because then you get the best advantage of his short passing, his vision, his crossing, his free kick accuracy, his curve, all that good stuff. Again, couldn't fault his passing. To be honest, was unlucky not to get me more than a couple assists in the 4 games, but so I'll even take 2 assists from 4 games. It's a pretty decent return, and again, another part that I really liked to Rivaldo. Moving along into the only con for him, and that's actually going to be his work rate. Now, the work rate is only an issue if you the work rate's an issue to the card, but if you apply a certain instruction to him, it takes away the issue. But I thought I'd still put it down to as a con, because in the first game that I used him for the first 45 minutes, he was absolutely garbage. When I was on the attack, Fernandinho would be more pushed up than he was. He'd sit way too back. You'd have to manually control him to get up to the pitch. He'd never do it automatically, and it was just so frustrating. So I did a half-time in the first match. I switched the instructions so that he stays forward throughout the whole game. Whether you're on the attack, whether you're on the defense, he stays forward, and it made such a big difference, and it made him a really fun card to use. But without doing that instruction, his work rate is going to be a massive issue, to the point of he's almost unusable if you do not apply that instruction to this card. It's absolute necessity that you do. A few other things to touch on. His finishing was fine. It wasn't out of this world, though. It wasn't bad enough to put it down as a con, and it wasn't good enough to put it as a pro, but I expected a little bit more from his finishing. And you might be saying, well, 3 goals in 4 games is a great return, and certainly was, but he probably should have been putting even more chances away, considering his long shots is 91 and his shot power is at 93. It didn't feel fantastic in game. The goalkeeper's making simple saves from a lot of good long shots that he was making, and I don't know, I thought he just maybe could have got me a few more goals. So his finishing was a little bit disappointing, but still not that bad at the same time. And his weak foot, I never even hit a shot with his right foot, if memory can... From memory, I always just used his left foot because I knew that his weak foot was going to be that much of an issue. So I can't really comment on his weak foot too much, but I have to say, overall, this card is very good. I recommend playing him as a cam. Would I recommend buying him? I think, yes, he's definitely got really good passing, good dribbling, good pace. The only thing is that his shooting isn't out of this world, but to you guys, his shooting might actually be fine. But anyway, guys, that's going to finish off this play review. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later.